My name's Joe, and this video, as the title clearly states, is a brief overview of the DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5. Right off the bat, I'll say, in order to get an idea of exactly how awesome this thing is, you do need to get some hands-on time with it. Easier said than done these days, I get it. But whenever you can, however you can, get your hands on one of these things. Don't tell me how you did it, just get one. It's awesome. In the meantime, I'll do my best to showcase all the features of the DualSense controller. First off, comparing it to the DualShock from before, very similar button layout. We have the sticks, the D-pad, the square, triangle, circle, cross buttons, triggers, same position, as well as the PlayStation button in the middle here. The new addition is the mute button, and this has an onboard mic right here. So you tap this and it'll light up orange and it mutes the microphone. And if you hold it down, it'll mute all the system audio coming out of the PlayStation. Really cool touch there. I'll briefly touch on the comfort of the DualSense. The DualShock from before, I liked it. It was a comfortable controller to hold. Sometimes I'd run out of space down here because my hands are a little bit larger, but I never had any complaints. And again, no complaints here. It's bigger. I'm not running out of space. That's nice. It's a little bit heavier, but it's not a bad kind of heavier. It just feels solid, and I really like that. So in terms of comfort, no issues, no qualms. It's got a cool texture on the back here, and I've enjoyed using it thus far. The speaker quality, very similar to the DualShock before. I like the little touch. It's not made to be an amazing speaker. It just adds a touch here and there. It pairs very well with some of the features we'll be talking about a little bit later. The microphone as well is good quality, no issues unless there's a lot of background noise. Then it picks up some of that. So if mom's vacuuming, maybe don't use it, use something else. Or maybe just actually vacuum yourself rather than just sitting around playing video games. Just an idea. And of course, the motion sensor of the DualShock is carried over to the PS5 controller here, and it works wonderfully. I mean, again, I used it a fair amount in games like Astro's Playroom, and never have any issues with it glitching or drifting. Again, it just works just like the time before, so no issues there. And of course, haptic feedback has been given a huge overhaul. Rather than the general rumble that we're used to from the DualShock controller, it's much more precise and catered directly to the action you're performing. For instance, if your character's left foot is touching down on cement, you feel a subtle tap on the left side of the controller. And same on the right, when the right foot touches down. And when your character jumps into water, you feel the turbulence of the water through the controller, and that pairs really nicely with the speaker when they add the sound effects to come out of the speaker. It blurs the lines between what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're feeling. It's a really cool effect. I think Astro's Playroom did it really well. I'm curious to see what developers do with this because there's a ton of potential. And of course, we can't forget about the new adaptive triggers. Based on what you're doing in game, the triggers can offer a slew of resistance levels ranging from very easy to pull all the way to the point where you have to squeeze the trigger, and it offers a lot of resistance. You could argue that in some games you're making gains while playing. That's pretty cool. There are also instances in some games where when I hold the trigger down, the trigger actively and repeatedly pushes against my finger at the rate of whatever I'm doing. Like I was firing a machine gun and I pulled the trigger, and at the rate of fire the trigger kept trying to push forward, and I had to hold it back. It's a cool effect, and again, it's something that the developers can definitely implement. I'm really curious to see what they do with that. All around, this controller is awesome. I have no complaints about it. The battery life is pretty equitable to the DualShock 4 when it first came out. When you're doing a lot of effects with the speakers and the adaptive triggers, that costs more, of course. But again, it's a huge upgrade from the console before in every way, and I love it. So you guys get your hands on one however you can. That's a basic overview of the controller's features. It's better than ever, adds a lot to the gaming experience. Check out my other videos. In those, I'm doing reviews of the DualShock controller specifically within games. I'm reviewing how the developers are implementing it and the features that it offers. So check those out if you're interested. Thanks and have a great day. Peace.